Like a trusted turnout jacket you've had for years, Flex 7 outer shell fabric delivers a perfectly broken-in feel on the very first wear. Flexible, comfortable, and powered with the strength of Enforce technology, Flex 7 outer shell fabric is made to move. To learn more, visit tencatafabrics.com/flex7. Flex 7, powered by Enforce technology. Only from TenCate Protective Fabrics.
This episode of Fire Engineering Podcast is sponsored by LogRX, providing real-time accountability of all your narcotics from cradle to grave. Coming soon, LogRX will also track medical supplies, equipment, PPE, and even vehicle checks. Learn a better way to track your narcotics at LogRX.com. That's LOGRX.com.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of everyone's favorite podcast, everyone's favorite radio show, everyone's favorite. Well, we took the other part of it out of it because of the XXX rating that we were. Never mind. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Larry Conley Radio Show, and I, of course, David Conley, am here to do my only job on this show, which is to introduce our fearless leader. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Some of them he owes money to. It's our fearless leader, Deputy Chief of Training for Collinsville Fire Department, Larry Conley. Rip-roaring applause.
Rip-roaring. Right. Yeah, and rip-roaring depend on where you are to mean different things, so we want to make sure.
Depending on how much chili you may have had.
Right, how much chili you had for dinner.
Stick to the subject then. Yes.
Right. Good. Chili will stick to something else if you're not careful.
Right.
Anyway, welcome to another edition. And you know what we did in a couple of years, David, on this show?
What's that?
Ladies' night.
On Ladies' Night, the feeling is right.
Feeling is right. And the ladies' night.
Let's all take a moment of silence.
There it is.
Hey. All right, man. Come on. Let's get it.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Oh, let me break it
Go,
down.
Larry.
Oh. Okay, come on, here I come.
Okay, so we apparently added the dollar throwing segment back.
Keep it on.
So you made your first change, and
right, that's how I made my first change. I wasn't always a firefighter, you know.
I know that's right.
This is way to pay his way through college, but now he's in school again. So.
Right, they just called me Chocolate Drop. Put some chocolate on stage, and they dropped me and said, "Don't come back."
I did the best I could. That's all I know.
Right.
You did a pretty good job.
Right. So anyway,
I appreciate y'all.
Welcome back. Hey,
so they should have called you Snickers for all the laughter.
Not Snickers.
Yeah, well, after that they called me Almond Joy, and that's why I paid all that child support. I could do this all day.
More flexibility because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. You know.
Right.
Oh wow! I'm not gonna join in because I don't want Jessica.
Right. Yeah, don't lay a finger on my butt. Don't lay a finger on my butterfinger.
I did the best I could. That's all I know. I'm not responsible for all of this grown folks stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, now that we're done with all the chocolate jokes, you know, bar none, this is going to be a good show.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Oh, look at the time. I forgot I got to go to church.
So many people going to tune in. It's going to be a payday. I'm just saying.
And Jessica and I are enjoying the Three Musketeers.
Don't encourage that. Please don't encourage that. Because it won't stop. I'm telling you.
It won't. It
Stop.
won't. It'll be a whole hour of this. And people be tuning in talking about, I thought I was tuning in for a fire show. And they talk about cornmeal and nuggets.
Put a little Conley on the side.
We change our sponsors to Nestle.
Right. So anyway,
my first job was your hype person, so I gotta
that's
keep
my hype girl right there.
Oh my gosh.
Chief Yancey. I mean, if you me and David go anywhere east. If Chief Yancey gonna be there, guess what? They gonna know we coming because she gonna hey. If people like going to another class, no, y'all want to go here. They be like, oh man, okay, well, just don't hurt me. I said what I said.
Oh my gosh.
So, But anyway, welcome to another show. We're blessed to still be on air. I think we've been doing this since 1948, right, Dave? When Nat King Cole.
47 actually.
So it's been a while, But anyway, seriously, we're going to be talking tonight with. It is definitely indeed ladies' night. We haven't done it in a couple of years, just based on scheduling and things of that sort. But we haven't done it on this format yet, where you can see people. We were still doing the podcast back in the day when we had those cups with the string on it, and that didn't really reach a lot. They didn't really reach a lot of people. But now that we Chief Rhodes has taken over, and we really got some technology going, it's really a great time. On the podcast tonight, so we're going to
they threatened to string us up. That's why we had to change, So.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
You know about that, did you?
No, we don't know about that. But we're going to do the show. The 7% of the fire service is women in the fire service, and that's as long as that's single digit, that's too low. And then we're talking about, different demographics of women. Where you're talking about African American or even the other demographics, it gets lower. And but we want to continue to do our part to promote the mighty voices of women in the fire service. And I'm gonna tell you, since I've been in the fire service, I've ran into some phenomenal firefighters. And at the end of the day, that's what I like to say, because the job requires for you to be a firefighter, period. No matter what. If Miss McGillicuddy's baby is trapped, she don't care what gender you are. You better get in and get that baby out and make it happen. And so it's a double-edged sword. You got to know the job, do the job. And at the end of the day, when you come out with the win, who really cares what's behind the mask and or under the helmet? If you get in there and get the job done. And so the phenomenal women that I've dealt with over the years have continued to impress me by their professionalism and by their dedication to the job, and let you know that anybody who really puts their heart and soul to it can do this job. Our two esteemed guests we have on tonight are not the only women I know on the job, but definitely two of the best of the best that I know. And we couldn't get them all on. We got them all on. We'll be talking all night. You know how that is. So
be ladies' weekend.
But we want to be ladies' weekend, ladies' week, or what a week. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that being said, we were able to get two of the best on here, and just talk about issues and victories. I don't want to make it like it's a something that we just getting on here talking about problems and things of that sort. There's a lot of victories, and I want to celebrate those victories as well. And so the two ladies I have on tonight, we have. And I'm just calling it as what Mama Elaine knows the scripture. I always forget the scripture when you call things that they are, the things that you want it to be as they are, be not as they. You know the scripture. Anyway, I'm the heathen here, but you know the scripture. That's why my grandma said, you know the scriptures. So when you know the scripture. Yeah. When you know the scriptures, you know that a huge part of faith is calling things even
That be
for
not.
the physically manifest itself. So call things that be not as they are. And so I've been calling Captain Jackson here Captain for a long time. Is what I believe in, is what I know she's going to accomplish, and not because I'm just trying to do a rah-rah, trying to make her feel good. Captain Jackson has put the work in, and believe me, I know better than anybody because we've been working at this thing for a minute, and there's been a lot of maturity, a lot of head scratching and head pulling. I started working with Jessica 20 years ago. I had an afro, for real. It was a big old, big afro from, and
Oh,
so
Jesus.
as you can see, there's been a lot of sacrifice, and so, but we're here. We're still here. Who needs hair anyway? So,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
but
I did the
anyway,
best I could.
I've been working with, and not just as a mentor, as a friend. Our families grew up together. We got daughters who are the same age. Sometime when Jessica, being a single mom, would have the challenges of babysitting for that 24 hours. Sometimes we work different shifts. You just drop them off over here, and we took care of business. And it's one big family all the time. We was family at work and family away from work. And we both seen each other go through life stuff. We've seen each other go through career stuff, and so we've been here for it. But the culminating thing would be two things that she's going to accomplish. One thing is, I was always telling her, "Oh, you need to get back in school." And I was like, "Well, maybe I should get back in school." So I finished school, and I said, "Ha! Did it." So she was like, "Ha! I could do it too." So now she's going to be she's going to be done with school in December of this year, and we're going to be done at the same time.
Yay.
I couldn't let her top me, so I decided to go back. So by the time she graduated, I can have a master's in December, and she's going to have a little bachelor's or something. But anyway, but no, but seriously, I couldn't be proud of her for going back, but she didn't have to. She got a good job, got a good income, got a great career. She's well respected on the St. Louis Fire Department, but she's going back and about to finish. And that's another thing. She said, I don't know if I could do it. It's been a while since I've been to school. It's online now. It's just a lot of what ifs. And I said, you got the capacity to be a 4.0 student. And she's like, now you're just blowing smoke up my, and we could talk like that on the fire department. I don't want to say what I really said because my mom's on the line, but blowing smoke. But anyway, but she said, you just blowing smoke. And I was like, yeah, I really do think. I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it. And Captain Jackson, what's your current grade point average now, I think?
4.0.
4.0. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just like I predicted, So anyway, so we believed in her. So 4.0 grade point average, about she hasn't dipped since. It's not like it was currently 4.0, like she was 4 point, dropped down 2.5 and then rolled back. It's been 4 point the whole time. That's even better than Khalilah.
Come on now.
Because I had some challenges, but because a couple of times I go to the bathroom in the middle of a test and kind of drop the grade. But anyway, but she's doing the damn thing.
Job.
And working the job too. And of course you could get a 4.0 when you work at a not so fast firehouse. But anyway, that's another story. But I did
Stop hating.
No, but I'm just playing with her. Firefighters tease each other, But the other thing is too, so not only that, she's going to ace this promotional exam that's coming up next month when she has to go do the assessment center with the oral presentation and all, and with all the systems we put in place to help her with that, she's going to ace that too. And so we got her ready for that. We got her ready. She's been working out. She's been reading. We've been reading extra stuff. We got our own book club going on. We've been reading some inspirational stuff to help with that mindset. And not to mention, she's always in the books. So she's in school books, personal books, assessment books. She works out. She's got
She's just a
grandkids.
bookkeeper,
Great,
huh?
yeah, you're right. She's a bookkeeper. She's
If you
been working
will.
out,
You
if
strive
you will.
to do that.
Got 2 grandkids. Got new grandkids. She got She
Wow.
got boy grandkids. I got girl grandkids. So we
Mm,
might we
mm,
might we might do some royalty stuff and do
mm-hmm,
some pre. You know how they
mm-hmm,
make. We're
mm-hmm,
going. These two
mm-hmm,
gonna get married. These two and continue the bloodline of greatness here. You know. But
mm-hmm.
anyway, she got the
Who's paying the
grandkids.
dowry?
Yeah. Say what?
Who's paying the dowry? To her
I
and
don't know. That's probably gonna come out both our pensions. That's what it's gonna be. but
Silly.
but anyway, she's doing all of that, all the above, multitasking, successfully checking off the boxes, um,
Mm.
and just all. I mean, the background. You see this sign right here. It said Larry Conley. Uh, Jessica did that. She did that in the
Wow.
middle. Everything else she was doing, she did that too. Just know stuff. Everywhere around my house, you look around my cars, my house, it got something with Jessica on it. So that's just how dynamic she is. So my point is that with all that dynamic stuff going on, she definitely is going to win, and I can't wait to watch her walk across stage to get that diploma, and I can't wait to pin the badge on that. And she knows what badge I'm passing on. If possible, we're gonna pass on my old badge when I was a captain at the St. Louis Fire Department. That's gonna be her badge, and
Wow.
winning. So, with all that being said, Chief Yancey, we're not wasting your time with somebody who ain't serious about doing this thing. We're gonna spend your time wisely with somebody who just needs that little edge and that little touch on, like, I'm going to the next level officially. What would you suggest, my sister? And I've seen Chief Yancey rise up through the ranks. We know each other from being on the national stage together. Like I said, I go east. If Chief Yancey is east, Dave and I, we ain't got to worry about nothing. She gonna be like, yeah, you better go see that class, or somebody better pick them up from the airport. I don't know what you heard, but they got to get got, and you boys had something to eat, I mean, she's like this. So her, yeah, if she can't do it, she knows somebody who can, and she knows how to make the connect. She's involved in a ton of national women movements, and not just that. In the fire service, but not just that, but other organizations, the Black Chiefs Officers. She's in Baltimore working, but she's always working from the road too. So she's the epitome of what I've been trying to tell Captain Jackson here, is that it's okay to work for your fire department, but it's even more rewarding to work for the fire service. And working for the fire service, Chief Yancey epitomizes that. So I wanted to have this dialogue between them, to where David, Mama, and myself are going to kind of fall back a little bit, and then let them kind of talk, and hopefully the listeners, and especially if you or women in the fire service, you can kind of glean something from this kind of big sister, little sister talk, to where they can, it's like, I've had mentors that I sit at their feet and say, hey, what would you do next? Or how would you do this? Or what worked for you? Or I'm going through this particular part of my career. What have you seen? And what can you suggest? And even though Jessica has leaned on me a lot over the years, and leaned on some other great people as well, then it's nothing like having somebody who absolutely bullseye knows what you're talking about. And I can do a good job, but I'm gonna dance around the bullseye a little bit, because there's certain things I'm just not gonna be able to share as bullseye as somebody else. So anyway, Chief Yancey, Captain Jackson, y'all gonna be on ladies' night to have this dialogue, and we want to learn something too. I'm part of the audience and want to learn something too. And it's kind of like the old Fat Albert cartoon. Like, if you stick around, you might learn something. Hey. So,
Hey.
Chief Yancey, for those, I know there's a lot of people know you. I mean, she was on the cover. What were you on the cover of something? I saw, was it FDIC? They had a big banner with your face on
Yeah,
it.
I
And
was
whatever.
featured in the campaign for MSA Globe as their feature representing the turnout gear at the FDIC conference in 2023. And then this year I was also on the campaign with MSA Globe for the new cons helmet that they put out this year as
Oh
well.
wow.
You
So
see
it
what I'm
was,
talking about? Poster girl.
yes. So it was an amazing thing to be able to see not only a woman featured, but a woman of
Yes.
color at one of the largest fire department conferences that's out there. So
Right.
I think that we're making strides in the fire service, and I'm happy to be a part and helping pave the way for the many to come behind me, or actually, as I say, pull them with me.
Exactly.
Mm,
Another thing I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna
good.
shut up. Number one, when we saw that poster, like 36,000 firefighters saw that as well. They were like, hey, did you see the man? Did you see the poster? It was the buzz of the conference. Um,
Hmm.
number
The
two,
funniest
that
thing is that a lot of people didn't realize, because I'm always smiling in those pictures, I look so
oh yeah,
serious.
you did, yeah. You're like, yeah, I'm taking my picture.
Yeah.
But another thing is that, and I'll tell Captain Jackson this all the time. One thing that I'm thoroughly impressed with, and I see you do it, I see Chief Wesley do it, I see Chief Tony Washington do it, she does it. Um, you all travel in packs, and not packs of these elite chiefs who all hang out because we made chief. You all travel in packs, and usually when you say, "Hey, Chief Conley, come here for a minute. I want to introduce you to somebody," it's always up and coming females in the fire service. It's
Mm,
always this is so and so. She got the year on. It's so and so. She got 5 years on. They at the Congressional Fire Service Institute conference. They're at different BCOC. They're different things. You all, what you all do is phenomenal with the way you all stick together and say
that's
that
good.
rising tide raises all ships type of
Mm,
mentality. And I love seeing that. I come back
mm-hmm,
to Missouri inspired, like, come on, we can
mm-hmm.
create that pack here. So
I think
before
we
you get
all walk
started,
in.
yeah, before you get
I want
started
to
on
say,
that, I just want to say I want you to kind of touch on your vision on that, why you do it, and just kind of give a little detail on that before you really get into answering Captain Jackson's questions.
I
Mm.
think for all of us that you just named, it's very important for us to walk in the mantra of you can't be what you can't see. So
All right.
we're
Say that again for the people in the back.
yes. So we definitely always want to make sure that when we go places that, we're talking to people and letting them know that you can be anything you want to be once you put your mind to it. And you do belong here, whether this is a male dominated job or whatever. Anybody can do this job. You just have to put your mind to it. We may have different obstacles, different challenges. Myself and Jessica, we're like total opposite. I'm not even 5 feet tall and she's above 6 feet tall. But guess what? We both can do this job. It's all in
Mm-hmm.
the tech. And when you have
Mhm.
the heart that you can do it, it's nothing that nobody can stop you from doing.
Right,
And so
right.
that's why we are proud to walk together and walk with each other and support one another. We're all from different cities, different walks of life, but we know how important it is for other people to see us in this role. So we make sure that we always go about and living and walking, and you can't be what you can't see. So make sure that they can see you and know that
Right.
Mhm.
it's for them as well.
Yeah, I'll be doing it.
Amen.
I'll be y'all walking packed.
Mm,
You got your eyes forward, your head
mm,
up. You're looking at people in the eye. Good morning. How you doing? I belong at this table. And every time I see y'all walk past, it's probably not a good rap, but I just can't. It burns in my head like fire chiefs walk like this.
mhm.
Y'all, you get right. Just like I was like, they doing it, man. They doing it. I love seeing that. But anyway, before we get started, for people who don't know, because I know you all, but make sure for our audience that they're informed. Like, who are these people and what are they about? So we'll start with Captain Jackson. Kind of give us a background. How long you been in the fire service? Something you'd like to share with us for your experience and I know I've said a lot about you already, but give us a little intro This is part of your assessment testing. Tell us who you are and what you're all about, and then we'll move on to Chief Yancey, and then we'll get the party started.
First, I'm excited to be here, so thank you, especially having Chief Yancey here. Right now, I'm in an acting position of captain. I've been on St. Louis Fire Department for 19 years. I didn't see people like me. I didn't know there was women. So when someone came to me and said, "Hey, you can do this," I was like, "Yeah, no way." Put it in God's hands, and a couple years later, here I was on the job. So I love it. This is what I was meant to do. With that being said, though, of course, there's been some testing issues and whatnot. And so therefore, I am in an acting position. I have been for about 2 years now. I am currently taking another test. I'm in college. I finished with my bachelor's degree in less than 6 months. I'm an instructor. I'm an evaluator. I work for the fire service. I don't just work for my fire department. I have great mentors in my life, and I'm adding more. Chief Yancey, yay. So this is actually great. I was talking to my niece. I'm actually in Florida right now, and so I'm here with my niece, and we were talking, and she had some questions for you, too, that we've incorporated in our questionnaire. So, but yeah, so no, I'm excited to have this one-on-one. I have plenty of guys to talk to. Guys talk to me all the time, but I don't often get I don't have any female chiefs in my city. There's one female captain who's over IT. Outside of that, we don't have any other females that are in a supervisory position for fire department.
Wow. Interesting.
Don't get me started. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
Deep.
Who's
Chief Yancey?
All right. Well, my name is Khalilah Yancey. I have been in the Baltimore City Fire Department going on 20 years. I joined the fire department because I knew I always wanted to give back where I was born and raised. I wanted to give back to my people and make a difference. I actually have gone on 26 years because I started in the cadet program and finished everything. But at that time, it was a different path because they didn't have money to continue the program. But once again, it just goes back into what we'll continue to talk about tonight on this show is that never give up, because what's for you is for you. So like I said, I kept moving forward. I'm married. I'm a mom. I have 2 girls, 2 beautiful girls, Kylie and Casey. They are 10 and 14 years old. Currently serving in a role of Deputy Chief of Professional Standards. That is a new role within our department that oversees the discipline and also competencies and things for our battalion chiefs. I am the highest ranking female on the fire side. In my department, we do have other women in our department because our department is fire and EMS. And we do have a lot of women here that, compared to other departments that I can lean on and ask questions to. I also had, I could say somebody that I wanted to emulate when I first came in. It was a Lieutenant Bernice Hilton, who happened to be our first driver, and she was our first Black female lieutenant in this department, and she served for 36 years at some of the busiest companies. So I did have somebody that, I could talk to through progressing through the job. Here in my department, I have worked in every facet of this department, from training, EMS, logistics, fire marshal's office, of course, suppression, all these different aspects. And I think that they helped me build what I am today. I am somebody that can have a voice at that table because I can speak in all those realms. The only sections that I have not worked in is IT, and I'm okay with that because that is not my thing.
Right.
I don't like it either.
I don't know it.
They can keep it. They could keep it.
Right.
The IT department I work in had an SH in front of it,
It don't matter.
Yeah, it sure don't. But I do know to continue to progress in this department, I have to be a lifelong learner. So I continue
Yeah.
to take classes. I'm an advocate of Carl Holmes EDI. I'm a graduate of that. I have also went back for Mod 6. That's a capstone group that they do after that. I'm also a part of Women in Fire. That's an amazing organization that supports women, but we do also have men that support us too. So I also don't want men to get caught up thinking Women in Fire, oh, well, what about me? Men, we have a lot of men that are members, men that are advocates, and they believe in the mission, vision, and values that we are trying to push through. I'm also on the board for the International Association of Black Professional Firefighters. I'm a member of BCOC, and also I sit on the board for Marius College. It's different things that I think you just have to keep yourself going because the fire service is ever evolving. So in order to keep in touch with those things, you got to have your hands in those different areas so that you can keep going. Now, for some people, that may be too much, but I'm a person that I know my purpose is to give back. And so to give back, I want to be able to affect change. And to affect change, I have to be up to date on what's going on so I can share that with all the people that I want to bring up with me.
There you go.
All right now.
You thought Captain Jackson was busy. Now you got Chief. Chief
Go
is
with your
busy.
bad
So,
self.
yeah,
All
go
right.
on with your bad self.
Proud
That's
of
why
you.
that's my friend right there. But anyway,
And
so
my part-time job is a hype girl for the Conley brothers and Chief Tiffany Westwood.
Hi.
For who now? Who?
The
Chief
Conley,
West,
the
Tiffany
family,
West.
the Three Musketeers and Chief
Three
Westwood.
Musketeers.
And who?
And
The
you,
Conley family.
she
She'll get it,
included you.
folks. She'll get it. She did. I didn't hear her. I'm sorry. She didn't
Yeah,
say it
she
loud.
did.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
The Conley family and Chief Tiffany Westwood.
All right.
I'm proud of you, though, for real. Seriously, both of you.
So anyway, now we got the introductions out the way. So you're doing this. You're sitting at the feet of somebody who's a great mentor, and you're doing like this, Captain Jackson. Like, what you got? What you got to answer?
This is actually kind of hit on a couple of questions I had to ask. First, we'll start off on coming into the fire service. What brought you in? Was there other females that, because like me, I didn't know there was any females, period. When I came in, there were 19 females on the job or had been through the job. And so, but once I got on, I did meet a couple. But initially, when I first tried out and I first, signed that dotted line saying, hey, I want to do this, I didn't even know there was women firefighters. How was your experience coming in? And this isn't just for me, but this is also for like my niece and other ladies, so they can understand that even though you come into a situation like this and you don't see others, doesn't mean not to do it, not to try it. And it isn't the same for everyone. I want them to also see that for you, it's different for me as well. But we both came to these similar situations and both love our job and want to be here for for our citizens. So how was your coming on to the job experience?
I would say coming on to the job, at first, there weren't like a lot of females that were right around me. In my battalion, it was only 2 of us out of 10 companies on my battalion. So it wasn't a lot at that time. But as the years have grown, and like I said, because we have an EMS component to our department, so I am around other females, whether they may not have been on the fire side, but in the EMS side, we're all one big family. We're not a separate entity here. They're not separate from us. We all work together. So in that aspect, I may have had a different advantage of you, but there weren't a lot of women at the time on suppression side. Now it started to change. I have started to see a shift in our department where you do see more women want to come on the suppression side. So I definitely encourage that because, like I said, it may not be for everybody, but I also think you deserve to give yourself that chance. So for me, kind of, I just knew for me, this is something that I always wanted to do. So even if I didn't have women around me at first, I just kept pushing through and eventually, and even reaching out. That's what being a part of these different organizations, networking, and you find women in other places. You know what I mean? can reach out to and depend on if you need to talk to someone, or if you having some difficulties, or just things that you may feel one of your male counterparts cannot relate to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for all of us, even today, even though things have changed versus the time we came in almost 20 years ago, it's a lot more women allies that you can reach out to and talk to that can help you navigate that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have EMS too. So there are some other women, but our EMS people go through it. That we don't have a lot of long-standing females on the EMS side. We have a few. Yeah, our turnover is ridiculous. And so and then our women on our fire department, actually our numbers have dwindled. Last female we had was Elizabeth McCormick, and that was 8 years ago. You know, we're getting ready to do another class, and I know we have one more coming on. And so, yeah, our numbers have whittled down to, I think last time I checked, we have 13 women out of like 400 on fire suppression. So we don't have very many women at all, and the majority of them are out at the airport or in administration. So actually, on the track, on the fire trucks here in the city, we only have 3 women, and that's me, Elizabeth McCormick, and Nicole McKinney. So it's kind of hard at times because we talk to each other. That's about it. We don't have a whole lot of other women to talk to, especially about what we go through, like in the firehouse. So it's nice to know we do have other women getting in contact with some of the ladies with women in fire. That's been that's kind of nice. I have that too. But so EMS is a little different. They're really busy. I don't know how your EMS is compared to your fire suppression. They run nonstop. And so
it's the same here. We're one of the busiest EMS per capita. So, St. Louis and Baltimore City are very similar in the type of fires we fight, the type of call volume we have. So, I'm the only thing I'm not really familiar with is maybe how many people you all have in your department.
Yeah. And actually, we're down about 100 people on the fire suppression side. And I couldn't tell you how many on EMS, but we're always short on EMS. We've been short on EMS since day one. It's always short. So
I think that's a universal thing that,
especially now.
Right now, yeah. That's going on everywhere. And one of the things that to speak on with that, when it comes to women in the fire service and retaining them, you have to make the environment feel like they belong. So sometimes when it comes to recruitment and retention, we talk about that recruitment piece, but we forget about that retention piece. If we don't have an environment where they feel like they belong, if we don't have pregnancy policies, if we don't have lactation policies, if we're not doing the things to make them feel like this is a job for them, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah,
that's good.
I had a couple females that were really strong in working out with me, when we first came on. And so I've had them my whole career. Do you have a couple ladies on your department that you were able to lean on throughout your whole career, even now?
Yes. My classmate, and she's currently our only female battalion chief right now on the line. My classmate, Chief Maya McConnell, she is all about fitness. She's been like that since we came in the academy. We literally stayed every day after getting beat up all day in the academy working out. And she's still that same way now, sometimes because both of us are instructors, but she, by her working shift work, she has a lot more time to go back to the academy and give back. And so even with that, she'll still lead the classes in PT. We have Camp Spark coming up, and that's our girls camp. That's another recruitment tool that you all can try to have. We have that coming up in July, and I can guarantee you that every day those young ladies will have PT that will be led by Chief McConnell.
Nice.
That's one of her mantras right now. She is literally in Brazil with her girls, her 2 girls, and her girls are younger than mine. They do jujitsu. And she's all about working out.
Wow. So they down there kicking it, huh?
That was a good one.
Yeah, we have a lady in the county that does a girls camp for the younger girls. And she's gotten a good group of cadre of females to come and assist her. And then we have another lady who does what we call Fire Up. And it's just where we get women in general. Like, hey, if you're interested, come do this. And then we show them how and what we do. And so we actually just did that about a month ago. That's the second time they've done that did it last year and this year. So that was fun. I actually made some good friends. I work out with the lady now, Brittany. She has a gym. So now she's kicking my butt, literally. So I will say I have grown some great relationships where I didn't think there would be one because of this department, though, or this job. Next question I have a few wrote down. One was more about the hardships, and then we'll go into accomplishments. So I've noticed for me, I sometimes, like, I'm a happy-go-lucky, and I try to stay that way regardless. But I didn't get promoted, and it's all politics. And then you're riding the seat for 2 years. And there was a point where I was just like, I don't care what happens on this job. Do what you want. You want to come in late? I don't care. I got to this I don't care moment. And, I actually had to step back. I did that for about 2 months. And I stepped back and I took myself out of the picture and was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? This isn't you. And I really had to talk to myself and get myself into I care mode. There was another captain he's the only bona fide captain in my house. And I even went to him and I said, I apologize. I know I've been in this I don't care mode. And I said, no, you're the only bona fide. I'm here to help if there's anything I could do. He was really appreciative, but I had to take myself out and look at it. I'm not the only one that's being hurt in all of this. He is too. As the only bona fide captain, you have to handle all 3 shifts. And it shouldn't be on him. It shouldn't be put on me. But, we are here to do a job. So I want to know, has there been like a hard time in your career where you was just like, I'm done? And then what did you do to come out of it? Because I'm still needing a little help with that.
So what I can say is, and without getting into a lot of details, I'll say nothing that I have done has come easy. It has been trials and tribulations in every step of the way. A lot of people wouldn't know that because I never let them see me sweat. But it's been a lot of things that have happened. I always keep with this mindset of saying what's for me is for me, right? So if things don't happen this time, it'll happen the next time. And that has just been one of the things that has happened for me. So it's been a lot. But one of the things I want you to say, never put yourself in that negative mode, right? Because not only does it not do anything for you, it destroys everybody around you. Those little things, people will always remember that, right? So when you want to move up, you have to stand your ground and stay true to yourself, whether you're in the back seat, and carry it to the front. Because everything that you do, they will always remember, oh, she used to come to work with her uniform sloppy. She used to be late. She didn't do this on this call. She didn't, come back and do her reports. All of those things will follow you, and it follows everybody in the department, but it's even more of a stigma when it comes to a female. Yeah. So you always have to remember that. And so times will get hard, times will get tough, but never let those things bring you down. Come to work and stay true to who you are. And you can go home and be angry about those things. Call Larry, call David, call Mama Conley, and just talk about it. And I mean, it's easier said than done. But I've been there too. But I also always prided myself that nobody could ever say she switched up. I've been the same way, consistent from day one. So what you see is what you get.
Right.
You want to be able to maintain that. And unfortunately for a female, it's always you have to walk that line. You always have to have that integrity. You know what I mean? And just keep it the whole time, because once you let it waver, it'll be a carrot that somebody can always dangle in your face later, or have something to say. Remember remember this and remember that. Unfortunately, it's a double standard. We hate to say that, but it really is. So I know that happened to you once. And like you said, you learn from it. So just keep moving and try not to ever let that happen again.
Yeah, it is hard sometimes because you want to be that person that you are. Like, I'm a happy-go-lucky, optimistic, I joke and have fun. But then you're just like, I'm just over it. And so, now I just kind of like take myself out of wherever I'm at, kind of have a pep talk to myself. I'm like, not today. We're not going to do this, But yeah, it can be interesting sometimes, especially when you got so many other guys. The morale is just poor right now. And this is like across the nation in fire service, because we're down on people. We don't have enough people to do the job. People are doing overtime. We're working too much, and the morale is just low in general. So, that was just one thing, was like, oh, okay, we got to figure out how to keep this morale up. And everyone was like, how do you stay so happy? Oh, no, I love my job. I love it. I love my job. Regardless if I'm on the back step, in this last month, I've done every position. I've, been on plug, I drove, I was on the seat, and I was on lead off. So it's one of those things where I still love my job no matter where I sit down on that truck. So I really try
those are one of the qualities that as you progress, people will remember that about you. And that's how you want to be remembered. You don't want to be remembered as the negative Nancy or the person that was always, opposition of everything that's going on. Because one of the things that you will learn as your pathway moving forward, you may not always agree with the decisions that are made, but as that officer, you ought to stand behind whatever's made. Yeah. Right. So you might be in that room, and we sit at this round table, and I might voice my opinion back and forth and don't agree with it. But when we walk out that door, we're a unified front, and I'm to carry that message. I'm a naysayer if I sit up there and be like, these new rules just came out. I don't agree with them, but here y'all go. That's what y'all got to do. Mm-hmm. No, you can't do that. Right. You have to stand that unified front. People don't like it. People may think you're selling out. No, that's a part of leadership. That's a part of being a transformational leader, being able to adapt to any situation that may come before
you. Before we get into your accomplishments, this is not an easy question, because I want to support every woman that did the due diligence, became a firefighter, even those that aren't firefighters. I just want to support women in general. How do you support a woman who is not good at the job?
So the first thing, in whose opinion, who feels that this person is not good? Okay. What have they done to make you feel like they aren't good? Okay. Or you as a leader, and I'm speaking hypothetically, not just you in general, as a leader, before I question somebody, is it something I can do to help this person along? Right? Is it something that I can give, or some of resources that I can allocate to them to help them whatever area that they may be deficient, right? And if you can do that, and that person can move on or overcome whatever the obstacle may be, and then that you've done your due diligence, or you've given them the resources to help them, then you can look at it and say, but just you got to take the unconscious bias out of anything, because you never know what's going on with that person at that time of why they're not performing something. You know what I mean? Maybe they came to work in the day, they just feeling down and out. And it could be something that's at home that's mentally going on with them, why they can't push that ladder up today. Mm-hmm. But guess what? They had to push that ladder up to get in the job. Right. So we got to figure out what's going on. And I'm not making excuse, because we have some people that just can't cut it. We do know that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Men and women.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But we also, I think, sometimes are so quick to do the negative and never figuring out. And I'm not saying because I know a lot of people with this, we're a kind of gentler fire department and things like that. Because for me, sometimes I'm like, what are we doing here? You signed up for this, but I also feel like for you all, you wouldn't know. I've been up since 2:45 this morning because we had a 3 alarm fire. I'm the acting PIO right now, so I've been gone all day, including being sick. But you wouldn't know that because I'm still here smiling doing this interview. But for somebody else, they may not be able to present like me. Right. And they may have that bad day, and it may have showed on the fire ground. Right. So instead of us talking about them, let's go figure out what happened. Is it a way I can help you? If I can't help you, do I have a resource that can help you? Then once we've done all we can, to help build that person up, then maybe they have to do some self-reflection or reevaluate. Is this the job for them? But I do think that as the fire service is evolving and the people are changing, we're dealing with a whole different dynamic of people that are coming in this job. It's not the same workforce, and we expect them to change, but we haven't done anything to change.
Yeah. And that, trying to how do I say, like, let everyone know who I'm talking about. There are women throughout the fire service that I've talked to. Some are, I don't know if I can do this job. Some have, 25 years on the job and they're just done. And so, throughout those different types of female relationships I've built, there are some that I'm just, well, I'm here for you, but, it's to that aspect of, if you don't want to help yourself, I can't do much for you,
And then you also do have some, I mean, let's be honest, you have some that look at this as a job and not a career. You and I have both sat up here and said how much we love this job, we're passionate about it, and this is what we have wanted to do. So you got to remember, some people, they have different agendas. Some people are here just to put some food on the table. They're not here because they're passionate about it. This is what they want to do. So sometimes they got to find something along that way that'll switch, give them that switch, and know this is a career path that's for them, and find the different things. And that's one of the unique things too about the fire service, but that is different facets. Maybe suppression is not for them, but it may still be other ways that they can help improve the fire service in a different place. But I just think that, and like I said, I don't want to say that it's some people that it's just not cut out for, because we know that's the case. But I do think that sometimes we just have to see what this person is good at, and let's try to figure that out. And I know it might be plenty of people that disagree with me, but that's just...
No, I like what you said, because, maybe there's a different niche or something else that drives them. Then maybe we can, when I do run into someone like that, I can find a different way of approaching them.
You may be able to motivate them, like, hey, I know this is putting food on the table. So think about your kids, like, think about what you want to do. And you may grow to love this job. You know what I mean? Like, or they may be struggling with something. Like you said, you may have a technique that you can show them, and like it may have defeated them at the like, I don't think I can do this. But then you came and showed them a whole different way, and it may change their whole trajectory. You know what I mean? Sometimes people need that push. You and I may not have need that, but it's other people that sometimes they do need it.
That is part why I love being an instructor. I love finding a different way of looking at it. Just like how Larry was saying, once you see that light bulb go off and they get it, I love that part as an instructor.
Yeah.
Outside of your kids, and we know your personal life, you excited for your babies and all that. For you in your career, like, what is your proudest accomplishment?
So it's funny. When I worked in training, I will be honest, I didn't really like it, right? I didn't like it for several reasons that I felt a little bit like they may not have wanted me there, but that's fine. I know, like I always say, what's for me is for me. I was asked to come in. So going there, I'm going to put my best foot forward and do my job. I will say that I think that was my most impactful part of my career, because just what we're talking about with people, I could see something in some people and help them and push them, give them that push they need. No, they didn't get anything extra, no passes, no this, you know what I mean? But if you may needed to work on your upper body strength. So guess what? We're staying after. We're going to run around for a while. We're going to do some push-ups. We're going to do some dips. We're going to do what you need to do to lift that 35-foot ladder, right? We're going to do what you need to get through this maze. You might need to lose a little bit of weight so you can learn how to maneuver and get there. We're going to get this done. And, so I like I said, I am a firm believer that what's for me is for me. That at the time may not have been what I wanted to do, but God had me there for a reason. And I think that was my most impactful time in my career. I saw a change in some people. I literally just had a text from 6 of my recruits sent me a group text the other day talking about how much I changed their life and how they watched me move and progress through this department. They feel like some people playing checkers and I'm playing chess. And it just makes me feel good about what I have done. So although I may have looked at it at a hindrance, it was the most beneficial thing that I have done in my career this far.
And I commend you for that, because you didn't come out saying, I got promoted. You didn't come out saying, I did this. You came out talking about how you helped other people. So I totally commend you on that. That is absolutely beautiful. That you took me for one there.
And Tiffany gets on me all the time. I am definitely not a person that's a bragger. I really don't even talk about myself. If anybody knows me, I will big everybody else up and not me. And that's all the time. Because I just really feel like God had a calling on my life, and the purpose in my life is to help other people. And that's just what I do. So for me, it's not about accolades. It's none of that. If I can sit back and see that I've done anything, even if our conversation today has helped you in any kind of way, I feel like I have fulfilled my purpose.
You already have. You already have. It already has.
Because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Most people would have said to me, and they within their rights to say it, because you still have to take care of yourself. But most people would probably have said to me, "Hey, I really can't do the show tonight. I've been up since 3:45. We had a 3 alarm fire. I've been working all day. Can I come on the next time? When you have ladies' night in 2027, can I do that one? But just like Chief Yancey said, her sacrifice. I've seen her not only, and that's just a small thing, selfishly talking about me, but I've seen her do it throughout her career that I've been knowing her. That if behind every great person, and most great people that we know in the fire service, there's a Chief Yancey there, and help them support and push them up or whatever. So you speak the truth when it comes to that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
One more question that I know I want answered. How much time we have?
Yeah, as much time as you need.
Okay. I am in a position where I only have 2 guys on my crew, and we are a 4-person crew. So I always have somebody else, someone different, someone on overtime, someone who doesn't want to work today, someone who comes there because I am at a slower house. I chose that on purpose to go to college. Yes, Larry. Anyway.
I got my degree at a busy house.
You chose to do that. I didn't have to. But because it's a revolving door, so if one of the guys is off, then I have 2 guys that I'm not used to. Or maybe I am used to them, but I only see them once a year. Or it becomes, how do I say
exhausting.
It? Oh,
my last fire station, it was the same for me. I had, when I first started, we call our drivers POs, pump operators, because I was on the engine. My PO, he was like at the end, so he was ready to retire. So, I mean, it was excellent because, as you know, it's all about the driver to get you there quickly, right? Quickly, safely, and efficiently, making sure they're getting you that water. But my PO, I loved him. He was great. But right before, once he retired, I literally had somebody different every day. I also had, he retired, my first acting person, how you're riding up, we call it first acting. She retired, and I had a firefighter, and it was cool, but that firefighter did not really want to work with a woman, but you don't have a choice. So my days were very, but you know what? My thing I told every day, I set the tone. We're going to work as a team, but I set the tone for what we're going to do today. So every day, I mean, it's part of our rules, but a lot of people don't do it. Every day at 0700, we're having lineup. I'm going to tell you what I expect today. I'm going to ask do you have anything did you want to do today? Did you want to talk about? And we can go over that. I'm going to read any, we call our stuff manual procedures, any new MOPs that came out, any new bulletins. We're going to go over all of those things today, and we're going to get some training in, or whatever we have during the week. We have standing things. Mondays is hydrants, Tuesdays is building inspections, Wednesdays are makeup days, Thursdays was home visits, so pumping and driving. All right, we had different things every day, so we already knew we were going to do that. But I'm also talking to you. Is there anything you want to go over today? Because here goes some things that I want to go over. We're going to get these things done. You set the tone. When I would have lineups, I was told one day, well, you just saw me in the kitchen. Yep, and I'm going to see you again at 0700. Because when I see you at I'm going to make sure the form is correct. I'm going to make sure that you're shaved. I'm going to make sure if you're a female that your hair's up, and some guys, that all of these things, because guess what? When the chief come back to do his rounds, and if you're not right, you on your own, because when I lined you up, you were correct. And I already told you, I'm a team player. I'm a ride for my people. But if you get in trouble for something silly, I can't deal with that. Because at 7 o'clock, when I set the tone and told you, gave you all my expectations and let you give me yours, that's for the day.
All right now.
And yeah, that's kind of how I am. And we have roll call at 8 o'clock. And I do it every day. Now we have a smart screen, and they messed up by letting me buy a smart TV, because now I can pull up all of our emails and I can put them right on the TV, and everyone has to sit there and read them. So, but I try to. I will say probably one of the hardest parts of having different people, and you don't know what's what and who does what and how good they are, is I have to question them a lot. So like when we're on scene, did you guys do this? Did you guys do that? And it's not because I don't trust them. It's because I don't know them, because there has been instances where something didn't get done where you have 20 years on. Why didn't you do that? And so I just,
and you got to remember, some people get complacent. So sometimes they need that friendly reminder. And so when you do have the lineups, like you tell them from the beginning, like, it's not that I'm questioning your skills, your ability, your knowledge, or anything. I'm just telling you, this is what I expect when you work here, because I don't know if your department is like this. You can work and feel like whatever side of town, you in 2 different departments.
Oh yeah.
One way, if I'm on the west side here, maybe another way, but this is how we're going to do it here today.
Yeah. Ours, we have 6 districts, and each district is actually different.
We have 6 districts too. See, I told you we're similar.
And there's a lot of times I have to, and I feel like, I don't want to come off, being hard or wrong, but like I have to at times, because it's like, I don't know what you're going to do. So, hey, anytime we have a fire, I'm going to need you to do this. I need you to tell me where you're going, and I have to go through this list of stuff that I now have, just to make sure, because I don't have the same people all the time. And so, it's interesting sometimes.
But just remember, like, as you continue to do that, it also just sharpens you. You know what I mean? Like, continue to put those rules and regulations in your mind. So although it may seem daunting and it's a task, it still makes it better. Okay. So you gotta flip it and look at it in a positive way.
One of the things about that too, Jessica, is you can't say you didn't know. So somebody, if you have somebody there that's you're not regularly with or whatever, you don't know what they know, what they remember, or anything. But if you go down there and give them the facts every time, they can't say they didn't know.
Oh yeah, because I tell them,
And I think people will do that when you don't, if you take it for granted that they ought to know. But I want to know that you know.
Yeah, there's a couple instances where someone will have left and I don't know where they are, and the chief's like, "So where's your 4th guy?" That's not going to happen again, Chief. So now every morning, another one on the checklist. Okay, make sure you let me know where you're going. Like, sometimes there's guys that don't want to work, and they're just going to literally stand behind you until you tell them what to do. But then you have guys that are actively, they go and pull line or do whatever. They'll go and work. I love that. Please, yes, do that. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do 20 years on a job. But you just got to tell me where you're going. So that was one instance where, it was like, okay, where to go?
Okay. We gotta train on follow the leader when we get back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has been an issue. I'm learning slowly but surely that, I really have to put my foot down, and this is what I will tolerate, and this is what I won't tolerate. So.
And you got to realize now that you're getting ready to step up and be official, you can't wait till you get official. You need to start honing that skill already, so it becomes a muscle memory to you. And everybody wants their own room and all the accolades of being the leader until it's time to do leader stuff. So it's not always easy, but it's necessary, And me, when you used to come work for me sometime, it was always roll call. And I've had people show up and they not at roll call when I say it. And when they come, they say, "Oh, I didn't know you did roll call." Well, I don't know what you do at your firehouse, but this is what we do here. And so that's always is. So the next time they come work for me, they already in place, ready for it, because you're consistent. You see, and just like you and I've discussed before, just because you firm and don't bend doesn't mean that means you being mean. That just means that you're being principled. Now, if somebody wants to interpret it as you being mean, that's their problem. That's not your problem. But so a lot of times if we don't change in our minds that we're not being mean and we don't want to be mean to people and all that kind of stuff, that might give us a stutter step on the directives that are necessary to do our job, because we have accountabilities, we have too many moving parts, and we have life or death stuff that goes on in our scenes. We got to eliminate as many freelancing mentalities as we can to make sure that team is sharp as it can be. And like you see Chief Yancey, like you said, she smiles all the time. She's always joyful and all that. But you saw when she was talking about when we do roll calls, she wasn't smiling then. She was like, we're going to do roll calls. This was the expectation. What do you expect out of me? Get that hair up and don't. And that's how it is. Now, let's get back to a nice day. So.
Yep.
So don't get it twisted.
Right. Yeah, but that's why I said you got to remember you set the tone, and you always going to have people that's going to try you. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the business. But you have to set that tone, and that's why I say it does start just like Larry said. It starts in the back seat. So it's one of those things they can say, I've never been a firehouse prankster. I've never been this. They can call whatever they want. When I come to work, I come to work to work. Right. We can have a good time. We can be a family, but we are here. We get paid for a reason. So, and like I said, I always wanted to give back because I was born and raised in this city. So I take these calls very serious because my family still lives here. Right. You could be not being on your best day when you're picking or dealing with my family. Right. So I take all these calls just as serious because anybody on this that we pick up in this city could be somebody that is my family, your family, the next person. We should treat everybody the same. So I'm just very really serious when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. The other thing is one of those things. This is going back to the being mean thing. Is that one of the hardest things for people to get is the separation of emotion, where it's not about whether you're being mean or not. You just are. It is what it is, and so you can actually be immovable with a smile. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be a thing where you are gritting your teeth and choking somebody out. You can say no and not move, but still it's no. You know what I mean? And not just be, that's just the way that is.
He did that good, didn't he?
I'm trained.
Well, Dave has always been very disciplined. Dave is a black belt, double black belt in karate. And so the discipline it takes to do that and break bones and stuff the way it does, you can't get emotionally caught up in stuff. The second thing is when you just said that, Chief, when you were talking about you grew up, I kind of felt the same way. I think that's why I was kind of really in tune to the city, because I grew up in the city. Yeah, I still have family in the city. Matter of fact, the 13s where I retired from, that was in the neighborhood I grew up in. So I knew the shortcuts, the alleyways, the vacant house, who used to live there, whatever like that. So I had a certain kinship to the neighborhood. So when people want to drive in from God's country where they live and come in and we just going to come down here, I like being in this neighborhood because it's busy and they can go back out to God's country and talk about all the damage they did down in the city. I still had to live here or still had to deal with the people who I knew and had some kinship with. So it was a little more personal to me. And Jessica, Captain Jackson knows about, we had a couple of captains who worked these neighborhoods, who were from these neighborhoods that had these little nuggets of things that we used to do. For instance, everybody who stays in the hood don't have the best insurance that if your house burned, we're going to put you up at the Super 8, wherever the super hotel is, until your house gets fixed. Sometimes they had to move back into their house and move back into a room or two while the rest of the house was still had that burning smell to it, and then fix it as they could because they didn't have the means of good insurance and that kind of stuff. Well, would that make me a little more conscientious as a firefighter or as somebody in charge? Don't break out all these windows unless it's necessary. Break out the necessary ones for ventilation and safety to do our job, but don't just go around just arbitrary because this ain't your window. These this ain't my neighborhood. I don't feel connected. You got to have that. So sometimes we have to stand in the gap in saying, hey, no, we ain't got to do all of that. Or let's take in consideration as we putting this fire out, we're going to put enough water on there to put the fire out. We're going to break out and make the ventilation spots to where we need to. But we need to be conscious that they might have to go back in here tonight. And we might have to do what we kind of do, the best customer service in these situations to salvage and save things. And when we do that, that goes a long way into how they relate to you in the neighborhood, and it may save your car from getting stolen off the lot. So I'm just saying.
And limit the economic impact.
But I think it's interesting that sometimes people will not think of what their job really entails. Your name or who you are under those conditions are firefighters, not fight your supervisor, not fight your coworkers. You're firefighters. So any mean streaks or anything that you want to poster up on, wait till you get to the fire and be, that's the time to show whatever you've learned, but also how to do it in a way that accomplishes your goal to put that fire out. But you're not there to fight with your coworkers. You're there to learn how to fight fires. And I think that's a real deep thing to think about, though. So if you got anything that you want to, come against, you got something to come against once you get to the fire scene. And you never know what exactly you're going to be up against for real.
Right.
And so you need to save all of that energy to fight the fires.
Right.
And not each other.
And not each other, because you're a team.
Yeah.
All doing the thing for the same purpose, same reason, everything.
Exactly.
And Jessica, you just always have to remember too, like, as you progress, it's always going to be things coming at you. It's just always going to be how you deal with it. I always tell myself new levels bring new devils, right? So I just always got to make sure that I know how they're going to come. So stay prayed up, and just keep sticking to your core values and what you believe in. And that's why I said it starts in the back. I've always carried myself this way, and that's how I will continue to do it. So even though they may not like it, but I'm me.
Oh, Larry can tell you some stories. I've come a long way when it comes to disliking things and how I handle them. I have come a long way of learning how to remove the emotion,
right,
and handle it. Wait a minute, Husa. Okay, now
we are human too. It's hard.
Yeah.
I was about to say, "Woo, girl!"
Yes.
Oh, I came to Larry one day. I was so mad. It was a very unsafe situation was going on during training. And not to give too many particulars, I was livid, and I came to him with every bit of fierce emotion. Aren't you going to do something about that? He said, wait a minute, hold on. Well, no, I'm not holding on. Fix that. So now I'm like, okay, now this has been, 15 years ago, was it? How long ago was that? So
about that month,
a long way.
Yeah.
I've come a long way of learning how to deal with my emotions and how to get people to do what I want. That I will say is having so many people and so many types of people, I've really had to learn how to get them all to do what I want in their way, but still give me what I want and get them to motivate them to do X, Y, Z. I want all, whatever it is, the end goal is what I want. And so how do I make all these different men do what I want them to do? So that has been
it's one of those things, it's knowing your people, right? It's knowing your
I'm
If
learning.
you have already identified that that's one of your blind spots, how can I motivate this group to do what I need them to do, right? So once again, it's going into you setting the tone, you learning your people and knowing your people, and you putting them in the places that's going to be beneficial for you all as a crew.
And it's really hard to learn somebody, though, in just 24 hours, because they're there for 24 hours and gone, and I don't see them again for another year.
Right.
So,
to some degree, yeah, but also a lot of it is about developing a habit of empathetic listening, and learning to listen to people and really hearing like beyond the words they say. You'd be surprised how fast you can learn the things you need to know about them that can help motivate. It may not be perfect. It may not be as well as say Larry, but it'll be well enough to know that I can probably do this with them or that, where you can do a better sort of zone defense, and that's a thing that we have to practice all the time in order to get better at it, as a leadership trait. You gotta be able to do that. That communication is crucial.
I did start something years and years ago, is where I speak to everyone in the firehouse when I come in the morning, just to kind of see where their tone is. And that's kind of, even those I don't talk to on a regular basis, or I've never seen you before, at least I'm going to talk to you. Because you know how in the morning, sometimes some people went through some stuff, so they're not going to talk to you much. Or they're just, all right, whatever. Okay, I figured out you're not doing so good today, so we're going to work on that. But that is one thing I've done to try to be more empathetic is, at least speak to them every morning and see, because you'll see their tones change from day to day, so.
And I can say for me, that was one of the things I had to work on, because I am a people person, right? So I'm always like, hi, good morning, how are you? Thank you, please. That's just my normal tone. So it used to upset me if I came in the firehouse and I say good morning to everybody and some people didn't speak back. Then I had to say, you know what, that's not my problem. But it doesn't stop me from doing that. Like, even like on the firehouse, I'm standing next to a different chief. A guy come right up, hey, speak to this chief, and you don't see me standing right here too, like stuff like that. Because I speak to everybody, but it's just like I had to learn how to get out of my own way, that everybody can't be like you, and that is a thing that I struggle with, because I am such a people person, and so I do know that those things like that, it bothers me, but I have to understand that everybody's not going to be like me, and so that's something that I have to work on a lot.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I was going to say, though, one of the things that I think is a good thing to remember, that if you want to develop something from your own self, you want to be a better listener, you want to be a better, not get angry, or not be able to control your emotions. If you don't get challenged in those areas, then how are you going to learn how to control yourself? You know what I'm saying? So some people, they're not coming to work saying, I'm going to challenge her or him so that they'll learn how to, take a challenge. They're not doing that. They're just challenging you. But if you want to learn how to handle challenges, you're going to have people that's going to challenge you. And some people don't know that they're actually helping you to develop, but we want to have it sometimes without having the trait, without having the challenge.
And I was going to say, Jessica, that's another thing that I knew I had to work on for me is I'm very passionate about certain things, just like I say, certain standards. Shout out to Tiffany Wesley, what you permit, you promote, what you promote becomes your standard. I'm a firm believer in that. So I always have to, when I'm very passionate, watch my tune and my tone, because as a female, sometimes that's misinterpreted. No, I'm not the angry Black female. I'm passionate about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let you misinterpret what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to let you mess my message up because you want to say that I gave it to you in this different way or that. So I do always have to work on watching my tune and my tone, and always making sure that I know my blind spots and I'm watching my blind spots, because some people take those things as a weakness. And so I have to make sure that I'm always forever watching them and working on them, and making sure that I don't let anybody infiltrate and make things that I'm trying to do projected in a different way.
You said what? Say that again.
What you permit, you promote. What you promote becomes your standard.
I'm sorry. Larry said something that you said. What was the last part?
What you permit,
you promote.
What you promote becomes your standard.
I like that. Okay.
Yes. Shout out to Tiffany West.
Yeah, she gets to, when you're in school, you got to cite people. So we're citing the Chief Tiffany Wesley for that. But that's true. And that's why. Another thing I found out too is in the whole scheme of learning people is this. And whether you are a female leader or male leader or whatever you want to claim as far as who you are, there's some principal human things that just do or unchanging no matter who you are. And once you kind of understand that, you probably can take things less personal. For instance, everybody's not a morning person. You may walk in the firehouse, you say, good morning, and they kind of and they don't I mean, their engine don't get going until 9:04 a.m. Well, you got to learn it, because otherwise you're always going to be bumping heads with them at 7:15. You know, so instead of having that, like they don't speak, they don't do this, and then later on about 9:20 they want to have a conversation. Well, I wasn't gonna have no conversation then with them because they'd act up with me at 7:15. See, I had attitude the rest of the day. They done change your weather. You bring your own weather to the party every time. You don't let nobody change it. Yeah, speak. They kind of grunt back or whatever. Don't come back with a full joyful speech, speaking thing like you did. No big deal. But if you really get to learn them, and I'm talking about the people you work with all the time, it can be a little hard when you got people who could be, in and out your firehouse. But even within, still have your standards on what you stand for. And then it doesn't, as a leader, it doesn't take you off course for the 24 or 48 hours you have to work, and understand. But when you do learn your people, then understand you may give them a good hello, but maybe it's a hello without the expectation. You just set your clock. You just set your clock to 9:13 and say, and they should be speaking to be, hey, good morning. Oh, how are you? And now it's done kicked in. But they will appreciate you respecting them. Some people are night owls. There are some people who, they night owls. You come downstairs to get a whatever or come out run. They up. They still up watching Matlock or something. So everybody has a thing.
Another thing is people were raised different. There was a gentleman in my firehouse at one point some years ago. He's retired now, but he would come to me and be like, "Well, she never speaks to me. Not me, but this other lady. She never speaks to me anymore." I said, "Well, she wasn't raised that way. Some of us were raised. You spoke to everyone when you wake up in the morning. You sit down at the table to eat. You spoke." Some households weren't that way. And so there are different aspects, whether they're just not a person, they stayed up all night, they have newborns. Maybe they're not a morning person. Maybe they just don't speak. This is where they are. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting working this job and having all those different personalities.
With the different personalities coming in and out too, and just with 8 billion people on the planet, like you can only control you. So the more important thing is about knowing you and about being you. So if you speak because you speak. You don't speak because somebody has to respond to you or not. So if they speak, fine. If they don't speak, in the sense of that part of it anyway, fine. The important thing is that you are who you are. You speak. There are lines that you have that you won't permit things beyond this point or to that point, but none of that is personal or is about them dictating the dance. You know what I mean? A lot of it is about the energy you put out, period, in the exchange and things like that. And so what people don't like to hear is a lot of times if you find yourself beset by how people respond to you, a lot of it is about you not having strong enough grounding yourself. And so some of that is about you starting to work on your own grounding to the point where, people start speaking to you because your grounding is so strong. And you won't have to be the one even speaking first, because they'll say, well, Captain Jackson likes to speak in the morning. So, hey, Captain Jackson, and then that's how that's how that will go, as opposed to, the other way around. It's that famous Zen story. I got a million of them about the rooster trained to fight. And real quick, this guy went to want to get a rooster trained so he could win some money in the rooster fights. And he goes to this guy who's supposed to train the rooster really well. So he gives him this rooster he has, and the guy says, come back in 2 weeks. He comes back in 2 weeks, and he says, it's ready. And the guy takes the rooster and puts it in the ring, and he opened up the thing, and the rooster who had been training ran back in away from the other rooster charging it. He said, you're not ready. Come back in 2 weeks. Comes back in 2 weeks. Now when he lets the rooster loose, it comes out and tears the other rooster apart. And he goes, oh, my God. He's ready. Give him to me. He said, no, he's not ready yet. He said, wait, what? He's not ready. He's not ready yet. Come back in 2 weeks. Golly, okay, so he comes back in 2 weeks. This time when he lets the rooster out, the other rooster comes out to fight him, and this rooster, instead of charging across to tear the other rooster up, he just stands there real nice and calm, and the other rooster comes up, gets ready to attack him, and then stops, looks at him, and turns around and goes back and doesn't even want to fight him. And he said, now he's ready. So get your ground into where you're like that rooster by the time he's ready, where you don't attack wanting to fight and stuff. Nobody wants to really attack or fight you. I haven't had a fight in years, but it's mainly because I learned to run fast. But the point, learn how to, how to exude a certain energy because of your grounding, where you don't attract that kind of negativity.
And one more thing to that point too is that I was thinking about this, and what I tried to live by as a company officer was this. I'm a firm believer if you can't get it right in the firehouse, you can't get it right in the street. In the street, you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. It's a little more predictable in the firehouse. Even if you don't really know them, it's a little more predictable. So you can't let that trip you up. You got to master that. So I would say to make sure I'm good for the street, I'm going to practice all these skills I read about, learn and practice and all that here, because the firehouse is just a macrocosm of society. Different personalities, different races, different social constructs, different religious beliefs, political beliefs, all of that. Master getting along with people there. And by the time you hit the street, you won't be blindsided if somebody says something ill and you're not trained, so you're going to react violently. And then you got the badge, you got the billboard that says your fire department out on the truck, and then you react in a way that's not wise, and then lose your team, lose your job, and lose all that. So master that world at the firehouse so you can handle the world that you don't know in the scene. Because I'll say once you get out in the street, nobody sits at roll call, even as great as Chief Yancey is. Nobody sits at roll call and say, okay, roll call today. Okay, today about 8:15, we're going to get a first alarm fire. We're going to get a cat in the tree at noon. And then somewhere about 5, we're going to have a rollover on 95. Yeah. So is everybody ready? No, you there for the time you work, ready to mitigate the unknown. So master the known within reason, so you could be, your muscle memory is ready for the unknown that you don't see. I always say if a person can't master that team in the firehouse, I'm scared about what you're gonna do in the street, because you untrained, you undisciplined, disciplined in the firehouse, so you be ready for the street.
And that's a good point, because we always talk about, not we, but, just people a lot of times talk about home training, okay? And home training would indicate that you knew how to say thank you, please, certain, things like that. And so, but if after you would become an adult, some of that stuff would just come out of your mouth or come out of your ways automatically without you even having to ponder it or anything else. But also what it would do is set the tone for how you want things to go, and you don't know what these other people, I'm talking about when you're at the firehouse, not at the fire. Fire, to me, when you get to the fire, it should be a whole new program, you know what I'm saying? But where we learn to work together is in the firehouse, you know what I'm saying? When you get to the fire scene, I would think it would be, I don't even want to think about you not being able to work together at the fire scene, So I think not enough emphasis may be put in your own mind on how you want to conduct yourself and how you want your team to work together at the firehouse. Because when you train, they call it. I was growing up, they called it home training. So
Yeah.
you could always tell who had good home training, because when they were outside the home, they said yes, ma'am, no, sir. Did what their teachers said or whatever, and all these kinds of things. So some of it is just basic training, but it's also things that you can carry forward. But don't assume too that everybody has had that though.
Right.
So this
And
may be you may be the first encounter of knowing
yeah,
how to have home training. And now you're home. Now where's your home? At the firehouse.
just know you
Well,
got to know the things about yourself and invest in yourself. Because one of the
Oh,
things
yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't slip up and be me at work.
All right.
So I had
Come
like
on.
author books, verbal judo.
Mm.
With them words, if I say something crazy, but let me give it to you in a nice way. So verbal judo, if y'all don't have that audio book, get that and listen to it, because it yeah. So
I have
Yeah, no.
I have one more question.
Go
I
ahead.
kind of know the answer to it, but I know I'm going to hear about this. So the training or outside classes, your personal development, what do you suggest? And I know you're going to say EDI, and I hear it all the time, and I've not went yet, and I will. But what? Okay, Larry, whatever. I see you looking at me. What type of personal development did you have and use to help you further yourself in your career?
Well, there was this glue class. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
G.L.U.E is at the top of the list. So please, the Conley brothers, you can go visit their website and you can see them. I'm sure they will have some promo with this podcast right here that'll tell you about it. If not, check them out on Facebook and all social media platforms.
And all of that glue stuff grew out of that good home training. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah. And you might get to see Mama at a special appearance near you. So sign up for the right class. But all jokes aside, excuse me, I pride myself on being a lifelong learner. So I'm constantly taking classes. I always told myself that at least 2 things a year new on my resume.
Okay.
So, and I always, I'm good with being uncomfortable, right? So I always pick something that's out of my wheelhouse, that's out of my realm. After I took all the classes that I needed to perfect the craft that I was doing, I would always take something that's not in use, like National Fire Academy is a good place that you can go. The training is free. You can take classes there. Like you said, I am a big advocate for EDI. Call home Executive Development Institute. If you don't know about it, please look it up. You have some awesome, amazing people from around the country, fire chiefs. It doesn't matter your rank when you're there. They look at everybody as a chief, and they come and volunteer their time to invest in you. So I just think that's amazing. It's 1 week a year. You can commit it 5 years, and then you graduate. And like I said, out of that, the networking is invaluable. You meet so many different people, from so many different departments, that if you have questions, you can call them for anything. Always attend conferences, and sometimes attend conferences that may not just be fire service related. Because guess what? If you move up, you want to know your boss's job, the boss job. So National Forum for Black Public Administrators, I went and volunteered and helped at that conference this year. One of my friends at a local department, she joined it, and she was like, hey, Nikki, come with me. So I went with her, had a good time. It was a lot of good networking. That conference encompasses all different, like, city managers, mayors, all different people in public safety. But guess what? We work for them. So good to know what they're looking for, what aspects they're going to go to the classes, go to the panels, learn different things. But like I said, I just personally always tell myself at a minimum, I want 2 new things on my transcript a year. So I'm always trying to take a class, no matter what it is. Different conferences, like, say, for instance, Women in Fire, we have classes there. We do hands-on training. We do workshops, and we do bring in different speakers so you can learn about different things and bring something back to your department. BCOC, they do the same thing. That the classes they give there, you get certificates, CDP classes. You always, there's FEMA classes all over New Mexico, Anniston, Alabama, where you can go take these classes for free. They pay for you to get there. Take advantage of those things that other people are. So why not have yourself in the building? And one of the things, that's why I said it's okay to be uncomfortable, because sometimes you want to go with your friends, but guess what? Sometimes your friends are not on that same path or that trajectory. So you got to just be okay with moving forward without them. Luckily, I do have a group of people that do like to do things that I like. It makes it fun, but it's times that they may not be there.
Yeah.
But you still got to be okay. It's okay to be that only person in the room, and you can change the dynamic and learn. People can learn from you, and you can learn from them. I just past December went to an executive officer class at the National Fire Academy. When I got up and did my introduction, it was a room full of different chiefs from different places. But I told them, hey, I want to, out of this class, I would like to hear y'all aspects on DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Tell me, what do you do in your departments with it? What does it mean to you? That was part of my introduction. I had several people in the room say that they had never even heard of that. Right.
Yeah.
But when we left, even the instructors were saying how they learned so much from this class. Even though we were there to learn from them, they learned a lot from us. Just being able to be that person that brings a different dynamic and speak about something that people don't want to speak about at times. So I don't know. You just got to find what it is and step outside the box sometimes. And sometimes it's not easy, there she go again, or that's that person in the room. But it's like, I don't mind. And I feel like it speaks a lot of good conversation. It's that icebreaker that sometimes the instructors don't even know how to throw in there. You know what I mean? I just stood up and said that, and it was like one of the guys looking at my table was like, I never heard of that. Like, I want to work with you more about it. And still to this day, like, he'll call me and say different things. Hey, how can I approach this group? We don't have a lot of diversity here. What can we do? So, like I said, I know that my calling is to always be able to give back and pull people along. And that's learning for everybody. It's not, I'm passionate about anybody, not just women, men, anybody that wants to be within this job. But I'm always going to definitely put my best foot forward to help the women come in and show them that this job is for them as well.
All right, then.
We need a lot more like you, Chief Yancey.
That's good. Yes, absolutely.
It's not easy though, y'all, but
right.
That's my friend. Right.
Ain't that something?
That's what's up.
That's good. That's good.
What's up now? I got your email now.
Yeah.
She gonna be like, hey, put me on game.
Yes.
No, that's right.
Listening is not aware of DEI. Women in Fire and NDRI, we have a group form that's called United in Service, and we come out and we will teach your department. So your chiefs will like that, free. All fire chiefs like free, FREE. If you go to our websites, you can pick out the classes that we can come from to your department for free.
You said FREE. Okay, that's
free.
Most chiefs will say free is for me. So
right.
All right. Now.
Look at the budget, free. Yeah, I'll take that.
Especially when it comes to training that'll help make your department better.
Definitely. You want to be able to check. You don't like to say it like that, but you want to be able to check the boxes to say we are trying. Instead of there's not a way. There's always a way. So.
Yeah. And this is a way for you to be beyond checking the box, to be proactive and know that your department needs, and making sure you
Exactly.
Thank you.
As we wrap things up, I think it's been a great conversation. I think, like I said before, not only Captain Jackson and Chief Yancey talking, but learning stuff myself or getting more confirmation or more new insight on things. And so when you're talking about principled leaders, when you're talking about people who have a winning mindset, that doesn't have a gender, don't have a color. It just is what it is. And either you're excellent or you're not, And so that's what David and I always try to teach when we go out on the road and teach. We're trying to instill in people that no matter how that looks, the principles of good leadership, the principle of working from yourself from the inside out, and that personal leadership all of these kind of things lead to greatness. And if you on that track, then nothing can stop you. No matter if you 3'6", 6'3", it don't matter. You could be a mighty force, no matter what. You black or white, whatever the thing is. It does not. Anybody who applies excellent principles and things of that sort will win. And sometimes things win in the long run, some things win in the short run, and everything in between. But you will win, and that's the stuff I've been trying to continue developing myself and pass on to Captain Jackson as this journey has been. But thank you for making Ladies Night. We brought it back, Dave and Mama, and we're gonna be ready for next year. And who knows? Maybe next year, Captain Jackson, we'll get somebody who say, "I'm just getting started. I'm trying to break into the thing of leadership, official leadership. How can I be down, Cap?" And then you can do the Chief Yancey and pass it on, And she could look back. She could look at the show and say, "That's my baby. I was just mentoring her last year, and look at her now. My goodness,
Well, Chief
So
Yancey once told me.
right. So
But I
yeah,
definitely think she already got it. She
she
definitely
got it. She
came
got it.
knowing what she wanted out of this show and what to expect. And she came with some good questions that will help feed into her captain that she already is.
Thank you,
So,
man.
yeah.
She's already doing it.
Thank you all for allowing me to be on this show with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Great
Always a
questions
pleasure.
and great answers.
Yeah, always a pleasure. We're gonna go around and wrap it up. We'll wrap it up with David first, and then Mama Elaine and our two guests, and then I'll bet clean up on those final words for this episode.
All right. Well, I mean, Ladies' Night is always fun, and this delivered just the same. And so I like to see mentorship in any way, form, fashion. I've known, both these ladies over the years, and so it's always good to see iron sharpening iron as well. So, and that, it was a really good show, and I was happy to hear Larry saying words now like microcosm. So the college paying off. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. And so I'm just really happy to see his
my next feat is know how to spell it. That's the next
right. You notice I didn't ask you that. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
That might take a few years.
Right. Just our viewership just dropped by 50%. But anyway, very good show.
Microcosm. What is it?
Right. Very good show. And, very good information, and hopefully, it helps a lot of people there too. So, thank you very much, Mama Elaine.
Well, I am so happy that we finally had Ladies' Night again. And because this was a lot of information that would really help ladies in the fire service, but ladies, period. But also letting the men know some things that they might not have thought about as well. And so I was just sitting here just in amazement about how deep it got too, and but it needed to be there. It needed to be there. And so it's showing how you can get together, get a mentor, and that helps you. I was really proud of that concept. Y'all didn't even mention the word, but the indication was there. So if you got a problem or you trying to learn, you get somebody to help you with it. And the one that helps you with it is learning as well. Because you're giving them some opportunity to practice what they, might want to stress more. So I was really happy about this.
Good deal.
Very good. Very good. It's just showing me how necessary the G.L.U.E program is as well. Just, giving a plug, but it is. And also, just the one last thing, speaking of plugs, you all did such a good job. And the next time you come on, we're going to talk about how to, keep things together and be taking care of yourself by resting and learning how to do that effectively as well. I'm just being edit that out, but anyway. No, but for real, seriously though, some of that, sometimes these issues that we run into are because we kind of neglect caring for ourselves. So we have to be mindful of that as well.
Very true. Very true. Chief Yancey.
Well, first, I want to thank you all again for allowing me to be on this platform with you all. It was definitely good food for my soul, although I know you wanted to look at this as some type of mentorship, but I think it goes all ways. I learned something from each of you all on here. And although this is ladies' night, I just want to send a reminder to the men that in the fire service, we're all in this together. So just make sure that you're encouraging us and helping us be good stewards of the fire service. Just help us along the way. You know what I mean? Like, we're here, we're not going anywhere. So just make sure that we're all in this working together. And for me, I just want to continue to help bring people up. Like I always say, you can't be what you can't see. So I want to be that face that can help let other females know that you can come in this job, you can do it. And I'll know that I will continue to lead with love. That's what helps.
That's good.
That's what's up. Yeah. Captain Jackson.
What is meant for me is for me. Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. 100%. What is meant for me is for me. So, my time will come. So I really appreciate you. Thank you for your words of wisdom. I always have the love, the Conleys, love them to death. But thank you for having me on here. And I hope, eventually someone will watch this and, we've helped other people. You not only help me, I hope we continue to help other people with this platform.
Yes.
I really appreciate you. You've kind of rejuvenated me to, even when I was given 75%, maybe I went back to 95, now you. Well, maybe I guess being in Florida kind of helps because when I go back to work, it's 100%, Hey. But no, you have helped motivate my spirit to, continue on being who I am and being truthful to who I am. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Just claim it. It's there. It's there for yours to grab.
Yeah, it is. And you've been putting in the work. You're not somebody trying to memorize algorithms, and you're not somebody who's trying to do things now in the 11th hour to try to get yourself together. In some capacity, Jessica has been adding stuff to her career bank account, and now it's time for it to pay the dividends because you've always been interested.
Yeah. And just remember,
there's a little banking humor there. Very little.
I did the best I could.
Right. So now, but now you have something to withdraw.
Like, after these jokes on Landon, he just goes microcosm. You know what? Thank you, Larry.
All week, folks. But she's going to win, and I can't wait to watch it manifest and take off all the work that's been put in. And just like I told you, and this is not nothing we put in an atmosphere, but it's something that is part of any realism. Whatever happens, you have had what I've seen is massive growth over the years in your maturity, your spirit, how you look at things, how you handle things personally, how you handle things at work. It's not about that. It's when you are truly developing who you are and you know whose you are, then the human titles don't really matter. And I know it's easy to say for people who already got the title. I used to say, you already got the title. I don't want to hear that. I want the title, but but as Nikki said, if what was for you is for you,
Mm-hmm.
and when you understand that, because sometimes I've been amazed by this all my life. I think I'm going this direction based on my master plan. In this little mind, if this little mind is a and and either goes south, and I didn't plan it at all, and I learned
But
a
God
lot
has a
about
whole nother
recovering
plan.
from the
Oh
south,
yeah.
or it goes somewhere else. I had no idea where. What was the running joke, Jessica? For a long time, I used to say, people used to say, "Man, are you going to be a chief one day in St. Louis?" And I said, "Well, with the politics and the they got the politics got the BS and BS when it comes to the promotional exam
Mhm.
and all that. So it might not be in St. Louis." And I was used to joke about that. And then, as my grandma used to say, lo and behold, and we used to make fun of him saying, "And hold below." This opportunity came to be in the Collinsville Fire
Fruition.
Department with,
Yeah.
with being the deputy chief there, and you two ladies was at there when we kind of took over standing room only at that appointment. Like
Yeah.
boy, they was like, you kind of got a few friends, don't you, Larry? I was like, yes, I do, and I
Right.
solemnly swear to uphold the laws of Collinsville, Illinois, while you at it. So
Mhm.
so my point is, I didn't have any idea things was going to end up there, but it
Right.
did because you had that genuine heart to put in work, help people. We've been doing that for a long time. Jessica's been on my team. We're helping people for a long time when it comes to instructing. Jessica and I've been all over Missouri, some places in the United States, and even in Nairobi, Kenya, across the water. She just looks at me and said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going here. Let's go."
Let's
And
go.
then we go and
Mm-hmm.
we go and then we try to help people along the way.
Mm-hmm.
That can't help but come back and
Yes.
bless
Right.
you. And
Yes.
even if it doesn't bless you in the ways that we think it should,
Right.
it's going to
Right.
Mm-hmm.
bless
Right.
us in
Mm-hmm.
the way better than
Yes.
we should.
You're
And we
right.
need to have
Mm-hmm.
faith in that. And when we have faith in
Mm-hmm.
that, everything will take care of itself.
Preach,
So,
preacher.
Right.
anyway, yeah. So here's my hat and the pastor,
Right.
pastor Blake,
Right.
pastor Blake.
Pastor Plate.
What
Pastor
you
Blake.
used to say? What did you used to say? You don't have to get ready, stay ready. What's that?
Stay ready
If you're
so you
ready,
don't have to get ready.
you ain't got to get ready.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
And then
about.
lately, do you remember what our latest thing is from the Right Reverend Deion Sanders? What I've been telling you lately, Jessica.
Mm-mm. I don't
When
remember.
you, when you look, I say when you look good, you play good, and when you play good, they pay good.
They
So what I
pay
would always
good.
tell you, so you looking good is when you is when you go stand before the board, you're gonna be dressed. We already done picked out the outfit for that, and then once you get pinned on the badge, they're gonna pay good. So bottom line is that
Wow.
that's the
I ain't
mantra.
got to get ready. I've been ready.
Yeah, don't you ain't gotta get
Wow.
ready. You always ready,
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how it should be. Period.
Yeah.
That's how
Stay at the
we are as
ready.
firefighters. We ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chief
Mm-hmm.
Yancey is always ready. That's why you can't throw none of that. When they was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm sure some people was hating about how she get to be deputy chief. Well, let me pull out this
Mm-hmm.
phone book of stuff
Mm-hmm.
that
Right.
I
Right.
did. You didn't see because I
Mm-hmm.
Let's
wasn't
pull out
bragging
this
about it.
resume.
Yeah,
Come on.
Right.
let me
Right.
Mm-hmm.
pull out this
Mm-hmm.
scroll.
You're gonna roll down the hall.
Yeah, exactly. So, but my point is, you've been putting in work, and we put in work, then
Mm.
blessings come from
Mm.
putting in work.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the bottom line is, thank you all for making Ladies' Night a great night. I know we
Mhm.
talked about home training. Shameless plug. There's an article on the fire engineering platform that talks about home training, penned by this guy. So they
Oh,
talk about
what
the
a
home training.
coincidence! What a coincidence!
So when you do the home training, firehouse home training at the firehouse, you're ready for anything in the street. Uh, read up on it. Tell me what you think. So, but
Mhm.
bottom line is that uh, we're going to have another great show in a few weeks, and check it out. We'll let you know what that is. Check out our website, www.gluenationldc.com, and check us out. We're David and I there. Let me let you know another thing. For those of you who didn't submit for FDIC 2025, I got good news for you. You're just in time to submit for FDIC 2026 because this deadline is passed. It was the deadline passed June 17th. Right now, when I get off this podcast, I got a stack of proposals I have to go through because I'm honored to be part of the educational committee, which looks at the proposals to say, yeah, this is good, and yes, this needs some work, but it's good. So my point is that with all of that, it's hard to say no to some of these submissions, but there's only so many spots. I think we got over 1,500 submissions. We only got room for 300 spots, and so if you got a great idea, if you got something that you want to share and you really think that can help with the fire service and you are subject matter expert on it, submit it. Show up at the biggest, baddest conference, 36,000 last year converged on Indianapolis. And there was just some great networking, great learning. The people, everyone you see on this podcast has been to FDIC, has taught there, or took a class there, or something, has participated in some kind of way. So
just know that Women in Fire open up FDIC without one
all the time. Exactly.
So it's always at the beginning.
It's always the beginning, the Monday and Tuesday of it. So if you're in Women in Fire, there's a reason for you to come. It's just not a bunch of guys there hanging out. It's something there for everybody. The gyms is there for EMS. It's something there for everybody. So like I said before, start work. You got plenty of time now to work on your 2026 proposal. Plenty of time. Yeah, because the deadline is already passed. We're already in the middle of it. I got to go to New Jersey the end of July, and so we can have the meeting with the Education Committee Advisory Board. And I just feel honored to be on that, coming from when David and I first submitted our proposal. Like, I hope they take it. And we were lucky enough to bless what they did. That's been about 13 years ago. And now, we sitting at the table helping make decisions for the next great voices. The great voices are out there. We just want to hear them. The great voices out there in America right now. We just want to hear them.
We heard tonight.
Like the one we heard tonight. So the great voices. And I'm trying to, that's another thing, Chief Yancey, I'm trying to break this one into getting her voice out there. She got a great class that we worked on a few years back. She was able to present it, and that's how she got her instructor certification. So we're going to break her in, get her feet wet at Missouri Winter Fire School. Then after that, the world. so
I did the best I could, y'all.
So we're gonna, but that's what we're doing. We bringing them up, just like Chief Yancey said. We bringing them up. We're bringing them up. We kicking down doors. We sitting at some of these tables and we saying, hey, we know somebody else that can be at this table because it's not about you. Now. We're gonna be on this earth for a minute, but we need to be passed down. We're gonna be on the earth past us, and you got to be.
They say if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu.
You're on the menu, right?
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
Right now.
I'm not gonna push that.
No, I'm trying to have influence on the venue. I ain't trying to be on the menu. Okay.
All right.
It's a gift. I can't help it. It's just pops in my head. Right.
Make a note.
To some of us, it's a curse.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's a family show, so I'm not going to curse, but seriously, folks, like I said, level up, and if wherever you are and as part of influence, as Chief Yancey does, look for ways to help people level up themselves. And if you do that, I'm gonna tell you, you will be blessed. David and I have been blessed in the things we've done, not just in the fire service, but just otherwise. So just use that as a principle and look at people better than they can be, and you too shall be blessed. So anyway, Dave and I,
Proud
where
of
we
you.
at next, David? Dave and I are going to Sarasota, Florida, finally at one place.
Finally, jeez,
David gets mad
finally.
because he was like, I think they need glue up in North Dakota and they need glue in
We're the only
Cheyenne,
we're the only
great
brothers that need
places,
a coat in the summer.
these are great places, but they ain't great places for a
I did
tropical
the
brother.
best I
So,
could.
so the tropical brothers are going to Sarasota, Florida. We got
And you're coming as I'm
ready.
leaving.
And
Yeah, we're going. Yeah,
now I
we're
might go
going
with you
down.
on that one.
Yeah, you might have to. So anyway, we're going down there, and so we're going down there to help the good folks in the Sarasota Fire Department with their officer development. So, and it's just a matter of just being out there. Somebody heard about us, and we got recommended to go. So we're happy to help out with that. And we're going to be a few other places for the years out. So check us out and see where we are. But other than that, you all have a great, safe rest of your summer. And
Good job, Captain in Chief.
yeah,
Good job.
and hey,
Thanks, Chief
you all,
Yancey.
and so what we're gonna do is go out like we came in.
Yay. Mm. Yes, I was singing that, wasn't I, Dave?
Yeah, she
You
was.
actually were,
Yeah, back in her day, back in her secular days, she was singing that. Now she's singing for the Lord.
The
Yeah,
Lord.
it was
Oh, what a
ladies'
night.
night for Jesus didn't go over as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Oh yes, it's Jesus' night. Oh
Yeah. Oh, what a
What a
night.
Jesus'
night.
night.
Just
Right. I don't know.
watching.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
blaspheme.
just stop while
I'm
you're
sorry,
ahead.
Lord.
This is a great show. Great
All
show.
right. All
Thank
right.
you, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later. See ya.
All
All right.
right. Shalom.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
The trusted turnout jacket you've had for years, Flex 7 outer shell fabric delivers a perfectly broken-in feel on the very first wear. Flexible, comfortable, and powered with the strength of Enforce technology, Flex 7 outer shell fabric is made to move. To learn more, visit tencatafabrics.com/flex7. Flex 7, powered by Enforce technology, only from TenCate Protective Fabrics.
This episode of Fire Engineering Podcast is sponsored by LogRX, providing real-time accountability of all your narcotics from cradle to grave. Coming soon, LogRX will also track medical supplies, equipment, PPE, and even vehicle checks. Learn a better way to track your narcotics at logrx.com. That's LOGRX.com.